Alright guys, how you doing? It's Rabea, hope you're all good. So it's been a minute since I did a video with the wonderful people at Crazy Tube Circuits, based in Athens in Greece. They're a pedal brand. They've been bringing pedals to market for quite a few years, awesome pedals. I've done plenty of videos with those guys in the past. So in this video, we're going to be looking at a newer pedal from Crazy Tube Circuits. It's an analog delay pedal. What's interesting is recently I must have made video demos of, I think it's like 4 or 5 different analog delay pedals from different brands. It seems to be the year for delay, which is something that I didn't think I'd hear before. But anyway, yeah, this is a new analog delay pedal from Crazy Tube Circuits called Time. So what is the Time analog delay pedal from Crazy Tube Circuits? What's it aimed at? What's the idea? Well, I've got a little bit of information here. With separate analog and digital paths to get the best of both worlds, this retro-inspired echo delay will warm up your tone. An all-analog signal path featuring a high-quality op-amp which improves audio signal fidelity is used for the best reproduction of your dry signal. 2 digital recording devices, along with carefully tuned analog filtering placed in parallel with the analog dry path, give you the most ambient echo unit you have ever heard. So that's what Crazy Tube Circuits are saying about this pedal. Just to add, it goes from 130 milliseconds delay to 720 milliseconds delay. So there's quite a nice broad spectrum of delay time that you can mess with this pedal. As you can see on the overhead camera, it's a super simple mono delay pedal, really simple control layout. We've got mix across the top, we've got feedback, then we've got the time, the milliseconds of the repeats. We've got the tone of the overall delay. We've got modulation, which is cool, adds a little bit of a nice bed of movement to your delay tones. And then in the middle, we've got a 3-way toggle switch, which changes the subdivision of the delay. We also have a tap tempo switch here, which is always handy on a delay pedal. What's nice about this is it chooses, I think it's out of 2 or 3 taps, and then it kind of rounds it off to the most consistent of those 3, which is really cool. And then you've got a bypass on and off switch. There are also a couple of internal trim pots to change certain aspects of the pedal and the pedal's tone. So on the bypass foot switch, which is what you use to engage the effect, of course, there's an internal switch which lets you choose between true bypass or a buffered bypass with delay trails. Again, that's really handy depending on how big your pedal board is, or if you've got a buffer or not, and all the rest of it. Just to let you guys know, this is a sponsored video. Crazy Tube Circuits have paid me to check out this pedal. They've sent it across. The purpose of this video is for me to play, give you guys a demonstration of how this thing sounds in a rig, in context. Any opinions about it, I'll leave to the end, and of course on my own, so take from that what you will. So, for this video, I'm going to be using the PRS Paul's guitar, because I've recently got it back out of storage and I'm really enjoying playing it. We're running into the Metz Barber M0 100, which is an awesome hand-built amplifier out of Italy, and it's got really nice effects loop, so we're going to be using that for our main tone. And the Crazy Tube Circuits Time is going in the effects loop of that. I've also got the golden reverberator from UA Effects for some reverb, but the amp goes straight out into the Sur Reactive IR, and I'm running an instance of Archetype Nolly from my cab section. Okay, let's crack on. Let me give you the sound of the guitar. This is the PRS straight into the M0 on essentially like a little bit of a crunch, so. So that's the sound of the guitar. Let me turn on the pedal. As you can see, the controls are fairly standard, as it were. We're not going to hear much of the modulation to start with, but let me just play a chord and see how it sounds. They were right about the fact that it feels very ambient. The first thing I would say is that when you play a couple of chords and then you just start messing around, it feels like a really nice bed of delay. Definitely an analog delay kind of vibe. Let me just tell you what I'll do. Let's see what the tone control does. So, because the reason I say that is because analog delay, generally the signal degrades, the repeats degrade, and so the whole thing never sounds super digital, like pristine, clean delay. So even with the tone on full, let's see what it's like. Okay, so if we take the tone all the way out, what do we get? So you can hear it's letting way less top end through, and actually it's affecting, let me just... It's actually quite nice in a way, because although analog delay inherently doesn't have tons of like articulation to it, that's the whole beauty of it. That tone control is quite nice because you can never have too much, but it's almost like when you take it away from full, it ducks more, so that when you play more articulate stuff, it's not going to get in the way. So for example, I put it right all the way up. So you get the idea there. Now if I turn it up, sorry, if I take the tone down now to halfway and do the same sort of thing. It's way less invasive in what I'm playing. So next up, let's see what the modulation does. So this is no modulation. It's half it. Slight warble there. So also, it's almost like it's changing the rate and the depth as well. My assumption here on how the modulation control works is that it's almost like got preset rates and depths inside there, and as you're turning this knob up, it's just moving between these different parameters rather than it being a really incremental control. It's like, let's say everywhere from nothing to sort of 9 o'clock is one type, and then from 9 to 12 is a bit more, than 12 to 3 you start speeding up the rate, and then 3 to full, when I say 3 I mean 3 p.m. To full is like, you know, like really intense. So let's put it somewhere just over halfway. Got a tune. Also, I love these little D'Addario headstock tuner thingies. Like I have them probably more than I use pedal tuners in the studio because it's really convenient. But I have to say, you really discover like sometimes headstock shapes, as much as I love them, they annoy me because, like, for example, this one, as you can see here, it's really, really hard to fit the tuner on it anywhere. It's the same with the Music Man headstock. Fender works like a charm. The Chapmans work like a charm. Gibson, another hard one. Just something to point out there. If anyone else has that same sort of issue when trying to fit a little clip-on tuner to the back of your headstock, put it in the comment section. I hope I'm not alone. Right, so we've heard the key features of time. So what I want to do now is just play a bit more. I've got the golden reverberator to mess around with. So let's just hear what we can do. Okay then, so there's a look at the new time analog delay pedal from Crazy Tube Circuits. What do I think about it? Well, the first thing and my first impressions were that I thought it was a really nice sounding delay, like the way that they've tuned the tone of the delay or the style of the delay, that analog sound. It's a really nice, it provides a nice support and bed underneath what you're doing, which is something I said when I first tried it. It was immediately, it gives you an ambience, it gives you a vibe. You know, in the world of delay pedals, you can go from super simple all the way up to like the most intensely complicated stuff. As you've seen on my channel, I've been over many different delay pedals and they all excel in different ways. What I really like about this is how simple it is. 189 euros, so, you know, it's sub £200. And I think that the tone of the delay is really nice, personally, in my opinion. I really like the simplicity of dropped a pick. I really like how simple it is to use, because aside from your level, your feedback, your time, and your time division in the middle, you basically have a nicely tuned modulation and then a tone control, which is really handy going between like picked riffs that you want to be nicely matched up with you, or then playing some lead and you want it to back off, so you just drop that tone down. It does exactly what it says on the tin. It's a simple analog delay pedal that's nicely tuned, and it gives you a good vibe. So thumbs up in my book. Anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know in the comment section what you think of this pedal. I'll link it in the description box below. As always, thank you to Crazy Tube Circuits for asking me to do a review of your pedals, and thank you for sending this over for me to try. As I said, I'll link it in the description box, but as always, let me know what you think in the comment section. Like, subscribe, and share. My name's Rabea, and I'll see you all very soon.